All right, welcome to a very short lecture, 0.6, the T1C library. If you want to know what's going on, if you've randomly found this video on YouTube, this is part of a series of lectures I'm doing on the book that I wrote with Joe Garbini and Cameron Devine, an introduction to real-time computing for mechanical engineers. Check out the companion website or get a copy from the MIT Press. All right. This is literally just one slide lecture that covers section 0.6, which is also a very short section in the book, the T1C library. So we provide an additional library, T1, which includes additional support for programming the T1 target system, complementing the MyRIO-C library that was provided by National Instruments. In particular, it includes functions for controlling the motor, reading the keypad, and displaying information on the LCD. So that hardware, those peripherals, need some functions to run. And we're going to learn how to write many of those functions ourselves, but not all of them, and we're going to provide some of them as compiled programs to test. Availability. So these are this library is included in the D1A workspace under the T1 directory. It's also accessible online. This URL will redirect you to the GitHub for the library. And if we look at this in Eclipse, it's in the T1 directory. It has these header files here for input and output and encoder, and we'll look at each of these throughout the term, looking at these different aspects of the library. You'll see in lib that provided are compiled.o executable files, but not the source.c files. So the headers are provided, and so are the executables, so you can run these functions, but these are compiled functions, compiled programs, so they can be included, but they can't be, the source code is not visible. So we're going to be writing some of these. Don't want to cheat you out of the opportunity to write them yourself. Great. So to include the T1 library, all you need to do is the usual include statement and T1.h. Executable only functions. Some functions are provided only as executables, sans source code, like I mentioned, and you will rewrite parts of this library in the lab exercises. In this way, you will learn how to implement these functions yourself while being able to use them in the meantime to help debug, make sure everything is working at the hardware level before writing your programs. It helps you have a bit of a test bed for them. So yeah, that's the T1C library. We'll refer to it throughout the term, throughout the course, and that's what we mean when we say T1C library. All right, all that's left is the lab exercise. So the last lecture will be an introduction to that lab exercise, and I'll see you then.